Hello everybody, my name is ICT Phoenix, and today I felt like trying something a little bit different than what I normally do, different from, the normal streams and uploads of streams. I'm trying something big brain. See, I've been recently getting into D&D, so I thought it would be a good idea if I tried to create SCP monsters into D&D creatures so that other people could use them in D&D campaigns. And so far, this is my first attempt at that. So I am going to be covering SCP 3199, Object Class Keter, or Keter, depending on how you want to go about it. SCP 3199's containment procedures are Keter class humanoid containment chambers. Primary containment chamber consists of 4 walls with 2 cm acid resistant steel, 2 CCTV cameras located at northeastern and southeastern corners, 2 meters of empty space, a room full of currently a clear acrylic resin to be holding SCP-3199. The description of 3199 is stated to be on average height 2.9 meters tall, average of 780 kilograms, and the hatchlings are 360 kilograms. Opportunistic hunters that engage with subjects at least 0.6 kilometers away from the hatchlings that have not reached full adolescence. The average running speed is about 25 kilometers an hour, and with any contact with animal or humans, they will proceed to liquefy their internal organs, then proceed to carry their body to the nearest hatchlings. This creature's very painful process of reproduction consists of, I'm assuming, asexual reproduction, where the egg will follow through the digestive tract, coming up through the stomach into the throat, commonly via the broken throat or separated throat, to release an egg through its mouth where it expresses extreme pain, as well as releasing a deep red viscous fluid, very acidic to most things that it touches except the eggs. The eggs will be placed till there is no space left to be occupied. This SCP will lay eggs until there is no space left given. If given the opportunity and chance, it is theorized that a single instance could single-handedly perform an LK class species transmutation scenario. They have about as much resilience as a standard human, being that these things can be killed without relative issue unless surprised attack then kills you. But the main issue is that, one, its location that it is lays a significant amount of eggs, as well as the single egg remaining in its body at all times. So this is my interpretation of 3199. This is the best thing I could do based on my limited amount of information on D&D, as well as the information given by the SCP Foundation, God bless their souls. Currently, I am just starting with the living creature. It's a medium-sized humanoid creature with a challenge rating of 1. I set its alignment to neutral because it doesn't kill in malicious intent. It just hunts and uses death and its unwillingness as an opportunity. I gave it advantage on stealth and stealth attacks because it's an opportunity hunter. If the enemy knows you're there, that's not an opportunity, it's a basic attack. I basically added the only attack description is its claws, because I set the scream that it did to most of the SCP Foundation as a reaction, as contact, and I set that to where you have to pass a Constitution save of 14, not too high but not too low. I felt that was right in the middle, where you could withstand that and not get your ass kicked. as well as, applying some sort of chance of getting your fucking life beaten. I said it, if fail, the player is stunned for 1 turn and takes a 2d4 of psychic damage. This isn't a lot of damage, although this isn't supposed to be an attack, and this is an AoE attack to all players. Upon succeeding, it's just a 1d4 of psychic damage. I didn't want to deal too much damage with that. I don't want, the SCP Foundation, being like, hey, yeah, you're wrong. I didn't really set in some sort of like liquidation. I might do that in the future. Honestly, like, give me 5 minutes and I might honestly just do that as some sort of liquefaction as a finishing move, I guess, to ignore death saving throws, because that's always fun to hear. Alright, so I'm back. I added a little final attack to it. It's just liquefy organs. It takes 2 turns just to kill a player at 0 HP, ignoring all and any sort of death saving throws. I feel like this would give a little bit more of a threat to injured people due to the first contact that the SCP Foundation had. Two of Omega 6, I think it was. I cannot remember at the top of my head, but it was an Omega team. 2 of the people were liquefied from the jaw to the innards. So I feel like this would be strong enough to deal with any sort of player at any sort of level, to make it some sort of like lingering risk, despite the fact that it doesn't have very much health. It does have health. It has a substantial amount, but not an extreme amount. This will make any sort of risk manageable, at least. I also set as a reaction the con save after you hit it. First contact with damage, it'll use a shriek that will stun and give psychic damage to anyone, and if you succeed on a con save, 1d4, that's about as much as you take. And if we go down to the legendary action, which I've decided to add at the end of every turn, it uses its extra, not extra turn. I was thinking of the word bonus action, but as I was saying, like, it'll use its bonus action to basically lay a 1d4 minus 2 eggs. I felt that this was like a balancing point, because you roll a 1d4, and if you get like a 1 or 2, it produces 2 more eggs, which at the moment I'm thinking of like basically making it to where it essentially just, there's an egg and you have to worry about that too. If it gets too hot, then it produces another one that you have to deal with. And I also added, upon death of one of them, it applies another egg, because as the creature is, once you kill it, it has an egg inside of it, and you have to worry about that as well. I was thinking of adding something about the lair, but nah. I didn't feel like adding a lair would be anything different from, a natural environment, but I did set its monsters' environments to forest and urban, because it was found in the middle of the forest in Ireland, originally by the SCP Foundation, and it was inside of a building. Whether that the creator set them there or not, that's the inhabitation that they have. The basic setup that I've gotten for it is 14 strength, 15 dexterity, 13 con, 15 intelligence, and wisdom and charisma being their dump stats, since they don't need anything. Average hit points 45. I set that as that way because the SCP Foundation shot them, and one of the guns that I looked up is the shotgun, which is 2d8 piercing damage. So that shot didn't kill it, but it did do a significant amount of damage. So a 2d8 of damage would be significant. And I also put the HP as just like an 8d8. That seems about like balanced. I rolled that and I got a 45, so it's withstandable to, a few shotgun blasts. So that's how I figured that out. Hit modifier +2, yada yada, to basic hits. I set its armor to 14, not to be like extremely bulky, something you can easily hit, but like, I'm not trying to make it like an extreme threat. The only extreme threat is supposed to be the eggs, which are nearly indestructible. At the end, I'm just gonna thank every one of you for bearing through that. And if you did somehow manage to like this, I will probably produce more of these. Just leave a like and subscribe down below to see more of these in the future. And if there's information that you guys missed, I'm just gonna put all the stat boards or stat boards just at the end of the video so you can copy it down. And like, this is my creation for everyone, so if you give me, like, you know, like, be like, hey, this would probably be better seeing as how this and this, I would be all for that. But, you know, this is the end of the video. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.